Good evening, friends, followers, and fellow book lovers. I am bringing a quote with you I just heard. I was watching a trailer for um, a new animated film with DC's Big Three. And as I'm kind of doing some other stuff, I just hear these words, and they are: a good man knows the darkness will always be there, but stands against it anyways. And of course, I heard it. Yep, that was Batman. And I had to go back. I had to go in there and roll the video back a couple times because I want to make sure I got the quote correct. If you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you probably know you should know by now. I'm a huge Batman fan. Um, and I got to tell you guys that when I heard this, boom, of course, it just resonated like big time, right? And it really just hit me because a couple different things. First of all, it's totally something Batman would say. Totally something he would say. Second of all, it's something that Batman and Superman have done uh probably nigh on 70 years, somewhere in that ballpark. Um but it's also something that the 300 Spartans did at the gates of Thermopylae. Dang, I'm not sure if I'm saying that. The gates of fire, the gates of hell, whatever that was. Um, that's something that good men have been doing throughout history, standing in the breach, in the gap, to protect their families, to defend their homes. Like like this is big time. Okay, I want you guys to understand that this is really it's powerful because we have men and women that do that every day, and we call them first responders. We call them policemen, firefighters, EMTs. There you go. There's something else I was thinking in my head. Um, we have the Army, we have the Navy, we have the Marines, we have the Air Force, we have the Coast Guard. We now have Space Force or whatever they're called. Because I really don't remember what they're called right now. But we have men and women that sign up, that write a check to their community or nation saying, up to and including my life, I will give for my community. And if you're a Christian, I think it's like John 16:3. And I gotta bust out my Bible because I didn't expect to go here. Um, but here it's that same principle of being willing to step in that gap, to stand in that place, to be the one to um to take the heat and really just uh man Hold on a minute, I'm looking for it. No, no, I did get it mixed up. Um, well, dag nabbit. Either way, the verse is about being willing to lay down one's life for their brother. And um it it really is. I see these two, this quote by Batman and this scripture, in the same light, that they go hand in hand. Okay. um that that those men and women that are willing to do that should be honored. And you might say, well, you said good man. I said, I did say good man, but you can also say a good woman knows the darkness will always be there, but stands against it anyways. There are women that are police officers, firefighters, EMTs that join the military. I'm not discounting that. That's for sure. But I want you guys to understand that that this is an important idea and concept that we don't that we don't promote enough in our society, in our community in the United States. There are a few other societies that are promoting it still. Um, under I hope that you take from this that these men and women that will stand in the breach, that will stand against the darkness, some do it for different reasons. But when you get to know the men and women, they do it because there's a sense of duty, there's a sense of honor, um, there's a sense of community or love that they have for their fellow man. Um, and it's hard work. It's really tough work. These brothers and sisters of ours that step into this role, and really just, to me, they're impressive people. Not perfect, but impressive, because they're willing to do that. They're willing to step into that spot, into that place. And I really think that in our society, we need more men and women that study the founding fathers, study history, and really delve into the biographies and multiple books on a person and multiple books on U.S. history, world history, whatever your country in, because it's important to know where we came from, how we got where we are. And I think I've talked before about how my brothers and I have been doing a book study and reading different books. We're right now going through the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist papers, and it's interesting because sometimes we'll read one and we don't really have a lot of commentary. We're like, oh yeah, that just makes sense. And other times we'll read it and like, oh, I can see his point here. The concerns that this other side is expressing. And again, the founding fathers and their families stepped into that breach, stood against the darkness that they felt was attacking their country. One of the things that I find interesting is that people were coming to the Americas really in the 1500s to establish colonies here, and they struggled. People died from sickness. A whole group in Virginia just Roanoke, the whole Roanoke, Croatia, whatever that thing is, just gone, disappeared. People gone. We don't even know half of them. There's speculation, but still. Then come the Puritans, then come more people to the colonies, the U.S. colonies, or the British colonies back in those days. And they come and they establish a new place, and they govern themselves for, just around 200 years. Where the crown's like, there's too much liberty here. You know what? You guys need to pay for this war because it was fought on your continent that you're living on. There's just so much. There's just so much that they were doing. The British Crown was doing. The French and the Indian, the whole dynamics of the stuff that was going on, was almost like a game to really keep everything under British and French control, or for the British to take control. I found that scripture. John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And of course, a woman do the same thing. A mother's love, a mother's care for her children, the sacrifices that mothers make across this great globe of ours. That we should not discount that. There was a time, I was about 5 or 6, and something happened in the neighborhood, and this kid's dad came to my door, and my mom's like 5'2", and he was 6 foot tall, huge soldier. I can't say that he was ripped, but my mother did say he was physically strong. You can tell he was physically strong. And she stood there in the door and said, no, you're not laying a hand on my kid. We can have him apologize. We can have him do something to make amends, but you're not laying hands on my boy. So what kind of a person are you? Are you willing to work to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States as a citizen by being active in your community, by voting, by participating in events where you can have a positive influence for the party that you support? Because really that's kind of the big thing for me is what am I doing to help my community? What things am I trying to do to make my community better? What am I willing to do? So those are the questions I ask myself is, what am I willing to do to make a difference? What am I willing to do to create a difference maker? So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. If you are a first responder, drop a comment below. I'll give you a shout out on the next video. Because it's really important that we recognize and honor those men and women that step into those roles. Firefighters, EMTs, police, and those that serve in the military. All right, my friends, hope you guys go out and make it a great day. Hope you go out and make it a great week. The Zion Will signing out.